Many of us grow up believing that strength means carrying every burden alone, that reaching out for support is a sign that we weren't good enough. But what if that belief itself is the very thing standing between us and our dreams? This is the story of a young man who learned the hard way that success is rarely a solo journey. In a quiet village surrounded by rolling farmland and uneven dirt roads lived a young man named Ethan. The village was simple and calm, but life there was never easy. Most people worked the land, waking before sunrise and returning home exhausted. Ethan, just 23, earned his living as a woodworker. He had learned the skill from his father, who had passed away years earlier, leaving behind little more than tools, memories, and responsibility. Ethan owned a tiny workshop at the edge of the village. The walls were cracked, the roof leaked during heavy rain, and the floor creaked with every step. Each day, he worked alone, crafting stools, repairing broken cabinets, and negotiating with customers who always wanted to pay less. After long hours of labor, his earnings were just enough for basic food and fuel to survive the cold nights. Yet inside, Ethan burned a bigger dream. In the evenings, he would sit by his window, staring at the distant hills, imagining a future where his furniture was known beyond the village. He pictured a large workshop, filled with workers, where people travel from far away just to buy creations. Reality, however, had little mercy. Whenever he managed to save a few coins, something went wrong. A tool would snap. The roof would leak again. His mother's health would worsen, demanding medicine he could barely afford. Some villagers mocked his ambition. One man once said, "You can't even fix your own shop and you're dreaming of success?" The words hurt, but Ethan kept his dreams alive in silence. One winter afternoon, a stranger arrived at the workshop. His name was Mr. Kareem, an older trader known for traveling between towns. He asked Ethan to build a large dining table and promised fair payment. It was the biggest opportunity Ethan had ever received. For the first time, hope felt close. But midway through the work, everything began to fall apart. The price of wood had suddenly risen due to shortages. Ethan's savings weren't enough to finish the project. He refused to ask Mr. Kareem for more money, fearing it would make him look weak. He tried borrowing from others, but no one helped. Alone in his workshop one night, staring at his nearly empty wallet, Ethan wondered if he was chasing an impossible dream. Then he remembered his mother's gentle voice from years ago. Every great journey begins with a small, brave step. The next morning, Ethan made a risky decision. He packed a few small chairs he had made and traveled to the city market, hoping someone would buy them. If he failed, he wouldn't even have enough money to return home. Hours passed with no interest, until a well-dressed woman stopped and examined his work closely. She bought everything. With renewed hope, Ethan returned home, bought the wood, and completed the table on time. Mr. Kareem was impressed and praised his talent. Soon after, word spread. Orders began arriving from nearby towns. Then came the biggest offer of all. A city businessman ordered 10 dining tables to be delivered within a month. The payment was life-changing. But Ethan had no workers, limited space, and barely enough resources. Still, he agreed. To afford the materials, Ethan sold the one thing he had promised himself never to part with, his father's old watch. As he handed it over, his hands trembled, but he told himself the sacrifice would open the door to a better future. Days turned into sleepless nights. He worked non-stop, skipping meals, ignoring pain, pushing himself beyond his limits. His hands cracked, his body weakened, but he refused to slow down. The villagers warned him, but he didn't listen. One evening, his mother found him sitting on the floor, exhausted and defeated. She spoke softly, reminding him that dreams mean nothing if they destroy your health. Ethan confessed that he just wanted to prove he could succeed on his own. She smiled gently and said, "You've already proven your strength, but no one is meant to carry everything alone. Asking for help doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise." Those words changed everything. The next day, for the first time, Ethan asked his neighbors for help. To his surprise, They came without hesitation. Together, they finished the order on time. The businessman was delighted and paid every coin he promised. With that money, Ethan expanded his workshop, bought better tools, and hired young workers from his village. His dream was finally taking shape. But the most valuable thing he gained wasn't success or money. It was the understanding that dreams are built not just with hard work, but with humility, balance, and the courage to ask for help when you need it.